Outer Orange. So this is a tier list. Back to my glasses. The glasses are back, guys. The chat has decided that I must also do the boss units. Best to worst, pretty much. I think we'll stick to V. I'll give you my best and utmost opinion that I could possibly give. And we're starting with Ripples today. Oh, and you have to have the other Ripple in Soul. That's so weird. It's a you have to have this guy in your soul. If you have this guy in your soul, it gets an additional 5, essentially. Does he go into soul? No, he does not. Oh, no, you do put him into soul. Okay, so he does go into soul. Interesting. So honestly, based off of what I just read, this card seems pretty decent. And the fact that it is not very heavy, I think it's actually pretty good. It's first skill. So best 5, look at top 5 cards of your deck and choose. Yeah, the other guy had the first skill. So anyway, this kind of works with another card. You can put the other card into soul to kind of give it extra power. To me, this sounds like a pretty standard card. I think this will probably show some stuff. I can see people in Aquaforce using this. This is definitely a staple, or it's going to be a staple in premium. Card's actually nuts. Here's Cariel. Oh, whoops. Cariel, where'd you go? Cario, whatever her name is, this is the one that generates protect markers. I actually think that this deck is actually decent. This is the Angel Feather card, and pretty much her skill just lets you have protect markers and restand units on protects, if I remember correctly. I gotta read the card again just to be sure. Or when she's placed on Van, you just straight up get a circle by Counterblast, and then also you can restand your units pretty well, but their auto abilities don't activate, which is kind of weird. So she's kind of like she gives you drive checks. And then you choose the same number of cards from your damage zone as number of rear guards or protect markers and call them to rear. So essentially what you do is you attack with your rear guards and you call new ones on top of that. And you'll always have at least 2 calls. So essentially she becomes a 5 attacking deck. Where'd she go? She's over here again. So I think she's decent as well in Angel Feather. I don't think she's groundbreaking, but if she goes first, like honestly, this deck actually gets very lethal very fast. And the only downside to this deck is the resist. You don't really get much resist, which is kind of unfortunate. Okay, so she spams markers late game. So pretty much she's a Vanguard-centric Bermuda Triangle deck with a discard, but you have to discard specific stuff and you call those specific units from your bind zone to rear. So I can see this being a little awkward. But you have to run 4-ofs in this deck, so you can't really get away with the Highlander engine as easily with Riots. But she's probably not bad. I can see her being kind of here. I think she's better than this Aquaforce and Angel Feather Girl. I'm actually gonna move Angel Feather Girl probably down here. I think she's just, I just realized I didn't make this super big, so we can't actually see the cards like super well. There, I made it nice and big so we can see them better. But anyway, I think it depends on how you deck build this, but I can see this actually being pretty good. So Amon, I definitely think is definitely Amon regular and Shahrat is still just the best way to go. And because of that, I think out of everything in here, this will stay here. I might move this up to C, but honestly, I think I'm gonna keep it in D tier. Enigman has the same issue where the skill is good, but in V, it just does absolutely nothing because you have no Enigmans to work with. So I think, yeah, I think this card is better than this card, to be honest. Regularmon just destroys. Yeah, Regularmon's just really good, right? The Regularmon is just, it's sad because I love Amon like so much. It's literally one of my favorite Dark Regular stuff. So this is reverse Daisha right here. So this essentially minuses while also rewriting. Some people have been rewriting like 3 times with this card, all this stuff. I think this is pretty solid. I would say it's probably here. Can actually kill on 0 damage. Enigman Storm can. This guy? Like in V? Let me read Enigman Storm. I need answers. Marco, I need straight answers. I need answers about this. Because I'm straight up like right now. Excusez-moi. I don't know enough about Enigman to know what it could do, but Marco says Enigman is this decent. Well, says Enigman is decent. I'm just gonna make a personal tier for you, homie. There you go. Is that even how you spell Enigman? Oh my god. Anyway, where we have this card, let me see what this is. Not a boss unit. We're mainly doing boss units, but I think this is the, yes, this is Miss Ghost. It got kind of thrown in here. Pretty much, it's actually a good card in my opinion. I don't know what to do with this. This is not a boss unit. I'm just gonna put it down here. Gooey Man. Now I can't talk about this card because I actually know what it does. Gooey Man pretty much restands and based off the 7C stuff and gets 3k power for everything that for every 7Cs in your bind and drop zone that you own. Of course, you can't have a full 7Cs deck, but you can come pretty close to it. And then on top of that, you can also, it also has another skill where you can remove a treasure marker to essentially call 2 more units. I think some people are very much coping on how strong this actually is. Now, don't get me wrong. By all means, the deck isn't bad. However, I think if you don't have a hand, you kind of die sometimes, and you really, really need to hit that restanding condition to like truly win. Sometimes you'll win even without it, but the thing about it is if you go second, it's kind of like a big feels bad, and I don't think this deck is as good or as fearful as people may believe it to be. So I'm gonna put it here for Uluru. So I actually think this card is very much cracked. I think this is insanely good. She says, when this unit is placed on guard circle, bind a unit card from your drop or put it in the bottom of your deck, and this unit gets 25k shield, by the way. And when your Vanguard attacks, you can discard a heal trigger from your hand, call this card to guard circle. And when this unit is retired from guard circle, you can also bind this. This is a very, very insane card. I actually would easily put this as an S tier card. I think that this card is not going to leave Gear Chronicle for a hot minute. This card is actually pretty cracked. And definitely not just in V. I think this card's good in premium as well. This enables the turbo engine of Mystery Flare even more. The fact that you can bind so much, and god, like this early on, this is so super good. It increases bricking a little bit because it's a grade 4, but everything else this card gives like insane usefulness. I think this card's actually pretty insane. I might be on copium, but I personally think this card's good. Genesis is on our list. Let's check out Frigg. This card seems in V kind of okay. I'm gonna put it here. I think it's just average. I think these cards are actually better than it, to be honest with you, but I do think it's a good setup card. So Leopold, I actually really like Leopold. I think reverse Leopold is good. I don't think it's great, but I think it's decent. So reverse Leopold lets you lock a rear guard with Leopold's card name, which is probably the hardest part about this, and then the cards discarded from your deck get the normal trigger or an order type abilities until end of turn. And then Cowboys 1, discard the top card of your deck, perform all the effects below in any order depending on the card's type. So normal unit, look at top 5, call 2. Trigger unit, you get all your front row units get 5k, and this unit gets a crit for Vanguard specifically, and then order you get Imaginary Gift Excel. Honestly, this doesn't seem terrible. I think you have to hit Leopold and it makes it decent, but I personally like the style of this deck. I've always thought Great Nature was just... I thought Great Nature Leopold stuff was always really cool, in V specifically. I always liked it, but personally, I don't know how this will be in general. I think this will just be probably here. I'm gonna put it in here actually. I think it's just decent. The roulette is pretty interesting. I like the roulette. I didn't like the Isabel roulette, but I really like the Leopold roulette. As strange as it sounds, I was actually super into Leopold. Leopold is what got me in Great Nature, and also what got me out of Great Nature, because once they stopped supporting Leopold, I stopped playing Great Nature. Tester Fox. Supposedly this is insanely good. Some people have been testing my locals and they actually said it's better than people think it is. Supposedly this is a nice engine. Yeah, it runs with the grade 2 pretty well, and apparently works pretty well. I think it'll be decent. I think it'll be better than Leopold just because you straight up search your pieces every turn, whereas this you just have to hope you see Leopold in time. So I think this will probably be better. With any grade, yes, yeah, exactly. I think I definitely can, because it's Vanguard Rearguard related, so you can just throw it into decks exactly and just kind of do whatever it wants. So I think it'll actually I think it's better than the Ripple. I think it's on par with these, because these all provide some kind of mechanic to like other decks, and this is definitely one of them. Now Holy Shrine's a weird one. So I hear that this deck is like utterly busted from like half the community, and then from Gold's players, I hear that this card is actually pretty average if you play your cards right. So, and apparently it's pretty glass cannon too. So I really don't know how good or bad this card actually is, because I personally haven't tested this. But I'm gonna stick it up here. It might honestly be up here for a lot of players. I know in premium it probably has a lot of applications. I'm gonna put it in A tier. I think A tier is a good spot for this. Like it to me, when I read this card, it definitely doesn't seem like a bad card overall. I hear it's a little kind of high roll-ish, and also if your opponent plays correctly, apparently you can kind of deal with this pretty well too. So, because I remember reading Jailer and really liking his skill, but in terms of like actual impactfulness, I'm not too sure what he do. So this is Jailer Dragon. Cowboys 1, discard a card with Jailer in his card name from hand. Look at the same number of cards on top of your deck as the number of open rearguard circles. Choose any number of unit cards from among them and call them and shuffle your deck. When this unit attacks, if all your rearguards has a rearguard cost, counterblast 1, soul blast 1 until enter. This unit gets 10k and a crit, and if your damage was 4 or more, gets a drive. Ow, that sounds so painful. Now that I read it a second time, that actually sounds kind of painful. I think this won't see much play. Dupe, on the other hand, Dupe is actually, in my opinion, pretty good. I think Dupey Boy is not too bad. It's not the best card ever, but Dupey Boy ain't too bad either. Let's look at Dupe. I think if you stay on this card, you're essentially minusing yourself while also just doing nothing. Keep in mind, old Spectral Duke or original Spectral Duke forces you to retire stuff, which means you're losing 3 rear guards. And then if you were to ride into this card and then stay on this card, you're kind of screwed because you won't have too much to lock if your turn passes. So I'm gonna say this one is slightly better than Jailer, but I don't think it's that crazy. Let's go to Kagero, the Overlord nation, the nation I know everything about because it's my favorite clan. It's my favorite clan. This card doesn't seem terrible, honestly. I feel like it's another added grade 3 to the pool of Overlord stuff. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I actually think this is probably up here. It might even be up here, to be honest. I actually don't think this card's bad at all. I think it's actually pretty decent. High B, low A. I'll take high B. Goku says, Counterblast 1, discard a grade 3 from your hand. This unit gets a drive until I died. No, I didn't die this card. I watched someone die to this card. It's pretty rough. Oh no, it's the other one. It's the crit one, not to this one. At the end of the battle, this unit attack cost Counterblast 1. Perform all the following according to the grades of normal units revealed for the drive checks. Ugh. Grade 3, choose 2 of your opponent's rear guards, retire them. Grade 2, choose 1 of your rear guards, stand it. Grade 1, choose 1 of your rear guards, and it gets 10k power. Ow! Okay, the fact that you have to rely on drive checks, I mean, you get extra drives, but I think this is kind of poo-poo caca tier. Okay, here's Outlet. This is the one that I saw someone get one-shot. I saw someone get one-shotted by this card, actually. I think it's in the middle of this card and this card, to be honest. I think it's not the worst, but it's not the best. So I'm actually going to stick it in here. It's not terrible. By all means, I think it could be like its own deck and stuff like that. It could do some weird gimmicky things. I watched someone just take 5 damage with this card one time, so it's actually pretty funny. Link Joker, Glendios. Glendy's pretty nice. Yeah, Glendy's pretty, I like Glendy. I don't know how well it is in coordination with everything else, so I'm gonna, y'all say A. I trust you guys with A, so I'll stick it in A. I think we can stick him at B. I don't think he's as good as these two, personally. He's just he's just on the glimpse of touching C. Let's look at Garafia. So Garafia should work pretty well with the new old Garafia. So when this unit attacks, cost +1, your opponent chooses 1 or more cards from their hand. It calls them to rearguard as rest. Your opponent's cards' auto abilities do not activate from this call. If the number of cards your opponent's called is less than the number of grade 3 cards with Garafia in their card's name in your soul, you can cost lock a rearguard, stand this unit, and then on Vanguard Circle, during your turn, when your opponent's rearguard is placed, lock a rearguard and all of your front row unit gets 15k power. Wow, 15k power. During the turn, your opponent's rearguard is placed, cost... Wow! That is such a defensive skill. I'm reading this right? During your turn, when your opponent's rearguard is placed, you can lock a rearguard, all your front row gets 15k power. Wow. So it just becomes a 27k base. Yeah, I think it, and it works with the other Garafia too. I think this is a solid A card. I don't know how it'll do in bugs, but I think the card itself is just really good. It is in bugs. Never forget, it's in poor bug colony. I know what this card does very vaguely. I'm just gonna be real with you guys. This is just this is kind of a copium card. Sadly, I think people are kind of really coping. It can easily be outplayed. Really, you think so? You think so? I think. How about put him in the middle? I think he's like here. Yeah, he might. I think he's pretty good. The thing is, outplaying him, yeah, but that's still pretty rough. I think the fact that he can become a 15k base that easily is actually not bad. You think middle A? Yeah, let's put him in middle A. Okay, we're starting with Vowing Sword, so we're gonna start with this guy. Personally, I read this card and I was kind of like whatever about it in V, but I know in Premium. Oh yeah, I forgot about Riggery. It's better than the old Stuffing Girl, but that's not a hard thing to be. I actually think you're talking about Hiyoga. I actually really like Hiyoga. Hiyoga can randomly out-sack you out of nowhere. The amount of it can actually randomly kill you. I think this card is worse than Hiyoga actually, just because she doesn't really kill or do anything. She just exists, and all her skills are Vanguard focused, and her support doesn't help her either. Like, it's a very awkward skill. Honestly, I think this is definitely an upgrade to current Vowing. I know in Premium people are going nuts over this card. This one's pretty decent. Let's see, Sweep Command. Oh, looks like I found Sweep Command first. Okay, Sweep Command. I think I'm actually gonna throw him into the C.5 tier. Speaking of, I don't really know where else to put him. He just seems okay, like in V anyway. Let's look at the other homie. So I think it's okay. I think it's a good. This is definitely a good Techy card. So we're gonna throw it in. We're gonna throw it in here as well. Actually, we're gonna throw him in here. I'll throw him in the higher end of the techiness. If your Narukami player rides into this as their final like approach to try and kill you, you think A tier? Okay, we can throw it into A tier. A tier it goes. I think as a final death sentence, this is definitely one of the best final death sentences. Okay, I believe it. You guys know Narcomin better than me. I'll take it. You guys think it's A tier? Chat, YouTube, chat said A tier. So if you want to yell at me, yell at them instead. What is this thing? Is this Nova Grappler? I think that's Nova Grappler. This feels so weird. I don't even know what to say. That is just too much text on the card. I don't know what else to tell y'all. That is too much confusing text in the card. I'm gonna throw it in the poo-poo caca section. It's going to poo-poo cacaville. Because I can't even, you know what, if I will look at my Nova Grappler player, I'm facing them and they're gonna read the skill to me and I'm gonna be like, just do your thing. Just do your thing. I'm not even gonna listen to them. See, now that's a normal ass card. That's what I'm talking about. Just a normal card doing normal things, not whatever Ethics Buster is. I think this one's B. Yeah, I'm feeling B. Okay, last but not least, whatever this thing is. He's okay. He's okay. He can join the B squad. He's actually not bad. He can join the B squad. Good little filter guy. What is this, Nupatama? Pretty sure it's Nupas. Yeah, the crit pressure seems, I feel like they actually gives it kind of a win con almost. Like, I feel like the crit's actually not bad. Dude, your front row can get all of the crit. You can get a sentinel off of this, and then you can just bird them. Because bird skill requires two sentinels. I think this is probably the best Nubatama boss unit I've read in a while. I don't know about y'all, but I think it's A tier. If you call a decoy token and then pay the cost, it tries to create a protect 1 on the same rearguard circle, which puts the protect into the drop zone. If you do not call the token to the rearguard circle and then pay the cost, there's no rearguard circle to reference. So instead, the protect gets created in the normal zone in your hand. Interesting. Very interesting. I think as long as you can get a way to get the generation going with the tokens, I actually think it's pretty good. But I don't know how easily you can generate tokens. Because rulings are kind of weird, we'll put it here. We'll put it in B. Probably better. We'll probably put it like here. Correct for Mosh. Okay. It seems okay. I don't think it's gonna like change things too much. I think it's a solid, I think it's just average. I think it's actually more on the average side. She gets huge, but that's kind of it. All right, Sarah. I do know how Sarah works. Sarah is literally Bastion. Sarah, come back. Sarah is just literally Bastion. Every time you build grade 3s, like you get a bunch of power and restands, and then Artilleryman works really well with this. I think this deck has the same killing potential that Gooey guy is on. So by Gooey guy, I mean this guy right here. They both kind of do the same thing. They have an insanely good grade 3 turn, and then they just kind of start falling off from there. So I'm actually gonna put Sarah right here. I think Sarah's not bad. I think the DP guy is probably better. I think that consistency-wise, this is better. And I think this is probably better. And I do think this is probably better. I think Ripples is I think it's on Ripples bar. Royal Paladin. Ashley Reverse. I would give this, I think this is an A tier card. It seems like it'll definitely improve the deck. Nautilus. Joker Nautilus. I agree. I think this card's like low-key cracked. I think this card's low-key cracked. I'm throwing it up here. Come here, Skydiver. Let's be Skydiver. So I don't know if you guys know, but when I was commenting for BRO, I couldn't remember Salami's name. So I was like, yeah, Salami. That's her actual name. And someone made a meme off of it, and it's just kind of been a running joke ever since that day. Ah, beautiful. 10 out of 10. Salami. What a card. Yeah, here it is. The mustache. Salami. It never gets old. Skydiver is actually not too terrible. I think he's part of the B squad. Witchy Girl. I love this card. It's not great, but this is a Shadow Paladin card. It's very defensive and very offensive. My favorite part about this card is the fact that you can retire your opponent's stuff. That shit is so funny to me. You can literally deny your opponent, and I'm all about it. It's okay. Nothing crazy. Nothing crazy, but it's just really gimmicky. Like, I think against certain decks, it kind of like destroys them, but that's about it. Yeah, I think this card is, so the thing about this card is that it's pretty much good in I think any Shadows deck. Like I think in any Shadows deck, I think even like other Shadows decks, this card just works because you can just pretty much search out whatever you need. I mean, it might be a little bit more rough in like PBO and stuff like that because they're not as grade 1 focused. But I think the fact that this card is just like a 1 in deck and drop and all this other stuff, it just has like a lot of weird cool skills on it that make it good. I think I like the, probably not Revengers. Yeah, you're right. I forgot about Revengers. Revengers has a special, it doesn't have, if it had a Revenger in its card name, But anyway, that would actually be pretty stupid if it did. But regardless, I think this card overall is very flexible, and I think flexible cards just always end up being good. But I actually think this is a solid S tier card. We got Drag Ruler. We got Draggy the Ruler. I'm thinking here. I am thinking here. I think we can move it down a little bit. Maybe top of C tier. Yeah, we'll put him in C tier. Let's look at the dragon while Marco the dinosaur lover gives us a lecture. I personally do think that this card is better, so I'm gonna put it right below the end. It's better. Well, yeah, it's definitely better than Aroa. This is DNV we're talking about. But I mean, like, it reminds me of Aroa with the token generation on top of the shield that you get off the tokens. I'm gonna put it below the Kagero stuff. I think it's on this level. But Speedo Driver, so Speedo Driver has a lot of potential, but here's the problem. This is coming from Marco. So we're talking from Marco's expertise here. It cannot overcome the gap between Speedo Gaia and him. What's missing? A little bit of power, even with stacking front with Tyranno Legend, but Gaia can do it even and can get also triggers, so it's missing something. I made a whole video about it, what Speedo R is missing to surpass Gaia, but on pressure, it's for V, a top B right now. So Marco says it's a top B card. I think I can vibe with that. I think the draw stuff is pretty good. I think it's better than Gooey Guy, probably on par with Neo Nectar Guy and this card. These probably are like kind of neck and neck with each other. Well, I don't know what to do with this card. Here, let's just throw it in here, just so it's complete. I think we created some fun stuff today. We as a community, this is definitely community effort, put together a pretty spanking list here. I'm really excited to see. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, you guys revamped V for me. I wanna try all the V stuff now. I'm like really hyped. Yeah, have a good rest of your day, guys, too. Stay awesome, stay great. The raid's gonna probably start within 10 seconds, so I'm gonna head off. But bye, guys. Thank you for everything. I'll see you guys in a future stream of whatever it is I do next. Stay awesome. Till next time. Bye.